Runners Mobile Barbershop. We on another one. Please hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, y'all. All right, we starting off like we always do with some witch hazel, and this just helps condition and also cleans the hair and skin. Just helps for a smoother cut, so those clippers can glide and we can get a great cut. We're gonna dry it off. Just getting a little residue that's left over. It dries pretty fast. Don't leave it too wet. We're going over the top with a tube, keeping it thick. We're just gonna make sure everything is nice and laid down. And this is gonna be a shadow fade. And first we're debulking though, so all of this hair that we're about to get rid of, it's no need for it. We're just gonna smooth it out and get the canvas at a nice base. And also, if you watch my other videos, you know I like to, I'm a person who likes to debulk. I don't just go into the cut. This just helps me, even though if I cut somebody's hair, a nice debulk helps me get back in the zone of this person here, because everybody here is different. We got a 1 guard on and the lever is open. The lever is open. And these clippers that I'm using, they're different. And I'm gonna tell you how they might look like Babyliss, you know, but they not. They're different. I'll tell you about them in a minute. But we're just smoothing it out. Like I said, lever's all the way open. We're just taking our time and debulking. Getting down to our base. And it's lighter up there at the top, as y'all can see. So we talked about that with my last video. If you watched with the lighter spots, you have to make sure you smooth those out. Make sure you pay attention to those. Sometimes you would have to just put your guard, the 2 teeth in that one spot to not hit the light spots, but hit where it's darker. But to help assist and make sure it blends well. Lever closed, and we're just gonna move downwards. This is just a debulk. It's just a debulking session, that's all it is. And definitely when you got a new client, this helps so you can see the actual shape of your client's head before just going in and if it's a ball fade, making that first ball guideline, or lever open, making that first guideline, and not really knowing the shape of your client's head. So you just want to be strategic in that way so you can make sure you give your client the best cut. Going in, we got the lever open. Now we're finna start to get into the fade. And this is a shadow fade, so it's the lever open. And we're going up right as the curves end, so we're not getting too much in the sidebars in the front, but right where the curve ends. And it's gonna be a regular, I wouldn't say it's like a drop shadow fade or anything like that, but we're just assisting to the shape of the client's head. So it do have a small curve in it, but that's how the shape of his head is. So anytime you put in guidelines, you wanna assist, you wanna put that guideline in the way that the head is going. It just makes the fade look better. Making sure your guidelines are very nice and clean, very important. These clippers right here, it actually has a mod on them. They are the Oster's Fast Feed blade, black, and it has a white ceramic blade on it. And also it has a Tune 45 motor and battery swap. And so these things are running, these things are pushing. I had to take my time and just adjust them and get them right, of course. All right, now we're going in. We have our Babyliss Pro liners, and we're just making that first guideline, really cleaning the neck up. And we're gonna go ahead and take care of fading it, just cleaning up our area, making it look nice, taking care of the lower part of the fade, and then we're just gonna move up. We're just being very clean. So I'm starting with the lever open, and I'm going up like an inch, like a regular neck taper. And it's already a 1 open. It's already open. So I'm clicking down and just going down just a little bit, clicking down again. So I'm fading from top to bottom, open to close, fade from open to close. That's what you would call it. Just taking care of that neck. being very clean is important, like through your cut. I mean, even dusting the hair off and making sure that your client is comfortable is a great way to go. You don't want to leave them hairy all through. And we're just clicking it down, and I clicked it down, got the ball line out, and I just opened it back up just to make sure that it's a nice clean neck taper back there. Making sure that guideline is very clean before I move on. And we're gonna do the same thing on the side tapers, and it's very light. And I'm doing the same way, starting off open and just click and close, and just making sure that fade is very crispy. Getting behind the ear, it folds. Sometimes your client, it folds behind the ear, and any folds or any creases, you wanna make sure that you pull, just like the crease at the back of his neck. You wanna make sure if any got a client any like that, we talk about indentions, you wanna make sure that you're opening them up, stretching them out, and getting any hair that's not, in the correct length. Just being observant. All right, we got that one guard on, and it's closed. And we're gonna go up about an inch, almost an inch. We're gonna take it easy at the front because we wanna keep those sidebars for the lineup. But as we get close around, we're keeping the same shape that we put in. We're gonna put it in all the way through. And I'm gonna go ahead, cutting a little different here, showing y'all the way I really cut. And as we get to the back, we're gonna stretch because we got a lot more room. That's like a full inch, maybe a little bit over. But on the side, it's like just a little under an inch. Because we got so much room to work with in the back, we can open it up a little more. We don't have to be as cautious like when we up there where the sidebar is at. Again, just clean. Just, you gotta be able to see. You gotta be able to see your transitions when you putting in your guidelines. The cleaner the guidelines, the cleaner the fade. So you're just taking your time and devoking. We're not fading right now, I always say that. Lever open, this is just prep work. Everything you see is prep work. Taking your time. So now we're getting into where the head, where you got the two up top, and it's a one guard on and it's open. So you want to be gentle. You don't want to push all the way into the top part. You want to continue just to finesse it to bring that dark into light, because you can mess up a fade right in here if you're not tilting your clipper in the proper way. So the higher I got the tail end of my clipper, the higher it's cutting, the less it's taking off. The lower you got it, your tail end of your clipper, the more it takes off. I think I said that right. I'll hear it later. But yeah, you just want to tilt. You want to tilt. So that's like a true one open right there. That's a true one open. You see how? But when I go to tilt my clipper, like you see when I do at the end, I'm just assisting to the length. Right here, I'm fading the top, the light into the dark as it drops down. It's an important step right here. All the steps are important. But you just gotta take your time, be observant. Nice smooth strokes. Coming back and laying it down too is a great way to make sure that your fade is smooth. Everything has to be smooth. Everything has to correspond with each other. And so to come back and smooth it out helps that cleanliness of the cut, helps that transition as well. All this is prep work. Just prep work. I'm kind of showing y'all like a realistic way how I cut here, and not just, showing you just one side at a time or speeding it up when I get to the other side. So right here, I just decided to stop with my fade and get the top together. Not that it was bothering me, but I just felt that like if I can get this top cleaner and smooth, like instantly, like in the cut when I was blending the side together, I was like, let me stop and smooth out the top, which I always do it, but it's like right before I'm finna line it up. But I wanted to do it just so when I'm getting ready to drop back down to the mid part of the fade, when we put the 0.5 on, when I'm fading, it looks good up there. I don't know what it is. It's like a perception. Like I said, keeping the hair off, keeping your client clean, has a lot to do with how the cut comes out. And it just, for me, before I started to finish my fade, I wanted this top to be smoothed out. It may not matter for the next person, another barber, but it matters to me. And I felt better after I did that. Going in, and we're gonna put in a line up. It's gonna be a ghost line because it's a shadow fade. You can barely see the line. And with lineups, man, the thing about lineups is your trimmers have to be right. And spending time with them, I know a lot of these, you talking about cordless, clippers, they're different than when we had the corded. They do, but they also, I don't know, they don't leave that line. You have to do a lot of modifications, modify your blade and everything. And that's cool. You just have to, I'm saying it because you have to take out your time to do that. A lot of people got people who modify their blades for them, sharpen them, and grind them down in a way that they right on point. A lot of people know how to do them themselves. And so it just takes spending time with your clippers to really get them on point. And I like wall liners, man. You can set those blades, and you can be really leaving a crispy line right after you set them. Some of these other clippers, you gotta really work to get that like just that one tap. So yeah, just keep working with your clippers, spend time with them. But if you're spending too much time with them, you can't get them right. Me personally, I move on. I don't spend too much time on clippers if they can't get right. So putting that line in, and I believe I go in with the 0.5 right after. Point at it. So I wanted to put that line in just to show me where it's gonna stand out more. Just like when I went over the top and smoothed it out, that's gonna help me stop focusing on the top. And when I put the line in on the bottom, it makes it so clean that all I can see is the imperfection. So that's all that's left to do. And so that's why I did it like that. So that's why I'm doing it like this too, just to give y'all a look at how I really cut, and just showing you some stuff that maybe you never heard or seen before. This is not your regular tutorial, but we're going in with that 0.5, using the ends of the teeth, going in at the angle in which the hair is growing. It's growing in at a slant. As you can see, whatever the way my clippers is pointing, is growing in the opposite way of that. And I have a 0.5 on, so I have to be careful when I'm going in for those hot spots, those dark spots that's not quite blending when I went in with my one open. And so you want to go in, if you hit it and you hit it, that means you need to go a guard size under, and you need to use your tilt game. You need to tilt your clipper and go against the opposite way in which the hair is growing, and continue to do that all the way around. So right now we hitting at a true 0.5. We in that mid section, blending it in, making it all come together, smoothing it out. Just being observant. I just opened it so I can move up. So when you open it, you can move up. Still being cautious because I don't want to push my fade up. So you just have to use your wrist control in order to get a fade smooth and just right. Or else you can put a gap. You can put a gap in the fade. Take too much off. So just be gentle with your wrist. Be observant. And I don't like speeding up this part, because I believe this is the part that everybody needs to see. That mid section is very important. I like to say now I'm really faded. Now I'm really getting to it, because everything's all together, and I'm just bringing everything together, moving the lever up and down, hitting those hot spots, brushing, laying it down, coming back against it. So this is like a the first detail session, really. The first detail session. I always do one at the end, always. So I said that's a 2 up top, but I'm tilting my clipper, in which making it an actual 2, and it's not taking it down. So that's just a skill that you have to get in there and do it. Be observant of how the clipper is taking out hair. I like this mod, man, on this Babyliss Pro clipper with the Oster Fast Feed blade. 245 motor and battery. I put a link in the description below. But man, it really has that blade moving, and I'm satisfied, man. I'm next to the Andis Masters, which is my favorite corded clipper to use. It's the Oster Fast Feed, and I'm able to use my purple guards with both. So it's a plus, man. I've been working with those two for a long time. Back on the line though, we're going to hit these curves first, and they're light because we have a shadow fade here. And my liners are on point. I told y'all, spend time with your liners, understand what you need to do to get them to hit and be comfortable on your client's skin. Going at the sidebars, just taking my time. I'm hitting that furthest line out. I'm just trying to get something that's a sloppy copy, and the sloppy copy is not the best, but as long as you're getting something on that paper, on that canvas, that's what we're looking for. So we're just taking our time, just been observing. We're gonna go for the other side. We're gonna hit that curve first. Making sure them liners on point is important. As you can see, this hair is low on the side, and it's putting a nice lining in for the first time around. Your liners should give you something the first time around. It shouldn't take just several strokes for you to get something. Making sure that it's super bald on the side with that taper. Hitting those sidebars. If it's taking you along, because you don't want to irritate the client's skin. Just because you're scared to get that blade close, you can end up irritating your client's skin just because you're hitting the skin over and over again trying to get something. So it's like a medium in there. You need that zero gap. You really do. Coming in straight on, going all the way to the left, and then I'm hit all the way to the right. It don't matter whichever side is pulling you more. It don't matter what side you go for the first. All right, I'm gonna let y'all watch as I get the line up together, but I'm gonna let y'all guys know, get out here and cut different types of textures. So that's gonna help you understand what to do in certain situations. Like this client right here, the hair up top and the hair on the face is 2 different textures. So you'll run into that. His hair down bottom is like a wiry, it's like straight. It's super strong. So you know it's that type of hair that if it get in your skin, it'll really hurt. It'll be like a what do you call that? Like a thorn in your skin. That's how sharp that facial hair is. It's coarse. So when you talk about razor work on coarse hair or on the face, period, because it's a sensitive area, you have to clear the way for that razor to do the work that needs to be done. I tell y'all the witch hazel, helps cleanse and condition the skin. So condition, if you don't want to mean softens up the skin. And so as I go through with the liners and smooth it out, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the shaver as well. And so I'm gonna get to shaver as close as I can to the goatee before I put my razor on it, because the hair is so coarse that if I don't go through and prep it first, that I can nick him. It's a more chance I'm gonna nick him if I don't get it super close, as close as I can to the goatee before I sharpen him up with the razor. So do as much as cleanup work as you can when it comes to like coarse hair before you go in with the razor, to make sure you're not doing any nicking or cutting your client. So it's just understanding, or definitely the face. the face in general, you want to bring that hair down, and that's gonna help you. It don't matter if it's coarse hair or not. When it comes to the face, I try to use my clippers to knock down the hair where I'll be using the razor to stubble. And if they can take a shaver, I'll shave it down to bald if they can take it. But the liners should get it down low enough to where you can come in with a razor and you know it'll be gliding, it'll be smooth. And you can use like a gel, you know, put some type of moisture on it to make sure it slides. But that's what you really want to do. You want to make sure that you bring everything down. Don't try to go in somebody's face and that hair is super long, and that's gonna be super uncomfortable face shave. So I just want to put emphasis on that. And as y'all can see, we'll go ahead and we're using the razor at a 45-degree angle. And as y'all can see, we already lined, just like if you do a lineup, you're gonna go ahead and line them up first and get that hair down to stubble, and then you come in with the razor and get it smooth to make sure that lineup lasts up longer. It's the same thing, you know, on the face, except it's just the face is a more smoother, sensitive area. So just be careful, man, so you can enjoy doing, you know, the facial hairs with a razor. It's a process to get it there, and I know I'm harping on it a lot, but the face for me was something that I kind of had to get used to. Not saying that I was uncomfortable being in somebody's face, but if you're struggling to do it, that's when it's uncomfortable. And so that's why I wanted to say that. Take your time. As you can see, I'm about to go through the process I just spoke about. So y'all just watch. All right, y'all, let's get into the word. But before that, I want to thank you guys. We're about 22 minutes in, I don't know. I want to thank you guys. I consider y'all guys as being my true viewers of this channel, real watchers. But I want to give you something that's better than any other barbering skill that I can give you, because at the end of the day, you're gonna master the craft of barbering and you're gonna get it. And I'm not concerned about that. But let me give you this. James chapter 1, verse 16 through 18. Do not be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chooses to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. All right, let's break this thing down. We got 16. It says, don't be deceived. The world offers, like we talked about last week on the last video, devil has his gifts and stuff that he shines in front of you too as well. So we can't be deceived. It's always warning us, and we have to take warning. We have to understand. So don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters, for every good and perfect gift is from above. So we have to understand that our gifts that we hold, we got the Olympics going on right now, y'all. You get gold medals in barbering. What you got, number one, everybody competing to be the best barber. And you know, competition is good. I'm not saying anything is wrong with competition, but be careful, because you can be deceived that if you're not number one, or if you're not in that right spot or position in which the world is flashing before your eyes, that this is not your purpose, this is not what you're supposed to be doing in life. Just because you don't meet a certain criteria that the world is flashing before you. That's why we can't be deceived. That's what they're saying. Our gifts is from the Lord. He chooses us and gives us birth through the word of truth. This truth that I'm shedding on you, and you have to understand, it's gonna save you a lot of heartache, a lot of trouble, because you have to understand, you got people in the Olympics supposed to be at this high level of performance. They mess up. They're human too. You're gonna mess up. Through this journey of barbering, I've messed up plenty of times, but I had to understand why I'm doing this for. I had not so good days, but I have to understand my foundation had to be solid for me to be lasting this long. I've been cutting hair since I was 9. You got it? That's almost 22 years now. Verse 18, he chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we may be kinds of first fruit of all he created. Birth through the word of truth. This is the word of truth. Once you take this word of truth, once you get it, you have first fruit to offer unto God, because you're going to be blessed by applying this. Understand? I gotta repeat it, that we may be a kind of first fruits that all he created. In Genesis, God commands us, the first command, not the commandments, but a command that God gave us was to be fruitful and multiply. God is not against us having money. He's not against us having plenty. He actually is for that. But what he is not for is when money has us. Long story short, find you a place where they're teaching the word the correct way and that fits you, and start to understand tithing. It's easier when you start tithing when you don't have that much, because you can do it. 10% of 100 is 10. But when you already getting 10,000 and you giving 1,000, your flesh want to hold on to that 1,000 when you haven't been given that, when you're not really used to that. So what I'm saying is, we have to get somewhere where we can tithe, so we can break our flesh over money. And the church does well with it. Is that they help people, and so it's all going towards kingdom. It's all good. It's all love. That brings me to my next verse, which is 1 John, 2nd chapter, verse 15. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. I want to make this plain, y'all, just simple as can be, with a personal story. Barbering, we want make the cleanest because we want to perform at our best. We want the best cuts out there. But when that becomes the main thing, and whatever craft that you're in, just trying to get to that gold medal. And it's a verse that says what it is to gain the world and lose your soul. When you get that medal, or when you get the cleanest cut, what's after that? That's why you have so many people empty. And me personally, I've chased things. I've chased the cleanest cut. And at the end of the day, God was, sitting outside of my striving, sitting outside and just, looking. I'm pretty sure he was glad that I was being productive and, doing a service but he was on the outside of that, and he was waiting to be introduced into what I was doing. Just like when you have a lady friend and you just sitting there talking, and your family have not met this girl. So will she feel loved? Does God feel loved by you at the end of the day with the things that you got your hands on? And right now I can say yes. Thank God that he brought it to my attention, and that I hear you and I see you now, God. So welcome, God, welcome into my barber. It ain't that you haven't been there, it's that I haven't introduced you. So I love y'all, and thank you.